Hello, everyone. Welcome to Practically X-Men.
Sort of. I'm practically almost sort of an X-Men.
You're a little bit blurry, Becky. For me, anyway. Maybe you're not.
I'm
blurry.
blurry?
A little bit.
I'm jumping realities today. Sorry. I'll try to stay in this one.
I was going to say, it's probably not actually the technical thing. It's probably that you're just blurry.
I'll close some things out too. Let's see.
So welcome, everyone, to call 3 of 5, Practically X-Men. This one is very exciting. I've asked Becky on because she's one of my favorite X-Men, first of all. Second of all, she's decided she knows nothing about this topic. So
I know nothing about this topic.
I invited her on to fuck with her a little bit and to invite you all to a different possibility.
Yeah, actually, I don't think that's exactly what you said to me before this. I think you might have said, Becky, F off.
I said, oh, go fuck yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't
never,
like F words.
The order was mixed up for me. It was close.
Well, you're dyslexic, so that's okay.
Got you. Okay.
We all know that you're dyslexic. Among other things. All right. So this topic. So dynamically affecting your environment. So this whole series is a series that is, the idea is to give you information about what you could experience, receive, and how X-Men classes could contribute to your life. So one of the things that is really common for X-Men, like so common, it might be like the number one indicator that you're an X-Men, is that they're way more aware of other people and their environment than they are of them in the environment. What does that mean? What it means is that an X-Men will know in a nanosecond how they need to be in order to fit into their environment.
Oh.
What everybody wants them to be. Which is not a wrongness. Like, that's a fucking capacity, and you wouldn't use that to your advantage for what fucking reason? Now, the tricky part is most X-Men don't know they do that. And so they think that they are the thing that they've, in a nanosecond, become in order to fit into their environment, in order to not make waves, in order to keep everyone happy, in order to not piss anyone off, in order to not offend anyone. So we've all gotten very, very good at this. Now, what I propose that X-Men.
I'm ready for this part because I was like, oh yeah, like I can do that really well. So yeah, okay, now tell me what else is available besides that, please.
What I propose is that if you have the ability to know your environment that dynamically, and you are the person, like, first of all, would that mean that you have more or less awareness of everyone in the room? More, right?
Wow. Okay.
You're the person in the room that could tell everybody what's going on for them. And half those people don't even fucking know what's going on for them themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you actually are more aware of where they're at than they are.
Yeah.
So there's,
and it's so funny because it actually happens before you even get into the room.
Correct. You can just think you're going there.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of X-Men are like, oh, yeah, I'll come to that party. And then, like, as the party encroaches, they're like, what the fuck was I thinking? Why would I go to that party? Why would I say fucking yes to that? I am like the master of white lies, of getting out of shit.
Master. It always like sounds like a good idea. And then I'm just like, ugh.
Because there's a moment where you're like, that's light. I'll go choose that. And then as things progress, we use our awareness and our awareness of future to go into the future, into that space, basically already know everything that's going to go down, either get bored or get annoyed, and are like, I'm not going. This is not happening. This is not happening. Yeah. And then, we have ways of getting out of it. I'm very good at getting into things. I am very good at telling a very plausible lie. So if I lie to you about coming somewhere and you kind of think that it's maybe true, it's not.
It's a total lie.
Getting out of something.
But you know what's so cool though, actually, about this? Because I just did this when I was running. I was like, hey, how can I use this to my advantage? So I was running. I'm going to a 3-day body class this weekend, and so are you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, how can I already hop there, energetically receive it, bring it here, and then so I can turn it up even more dynamically? Because you know how like you go to a class and when it's over, you're like, oh. So I was like, how can I already have that now so that I can even be more dynamic when it's over? So I actually, instead of like, oh, I'm getting out of it, this one I was like, hey, how can I actually use it to my advantage and turn it up?
Yeah. So
does that even make sense?
So for everyone watching now, like, don't tell Becky why I invited her onto this particular topic.
Because this doesn't pertain to me.
Because she doesn't know anything about this particular topic. She just has massive fucking capacities in it, but don't tell her.
Well, the words didn't make sense. The words, when you put them down, I was like, what the heck? Why am I getting that one? What do you mean? Like, that just didn't make any sense to me.
Well, you got this topic really because you were the last person to pick a topic. Yeah. And what's fucking right about it, you're not getting, lady. I knew this was your topic when I put it in there, but I just wanted to see what you guys would choose. Everyone chose the topic that I knew was their topic.
Well, because I dominated the energy. I was like, whatever's my topic, nobody else can choose it. And then so I was like, oh, this one's last.
So what you're saying is that you actually use your awareness, your ability to be aware of the future to dynamically affect your environment. Is that what you're saying?
Well, when you put it that way.
And by chance, did this ability to actually A, be aware that you're capable of doing that, and B, be able to choose it and to know what tools to use in order to like actually actualize it at all come from any X-Men classes, maybe?
I might have done one or two. I might have done one or two.
Oh my God.
And just a quick shout out to my last favorite one that's actually really contributing to my world right now is the Killing Contribution. Shout out.
That was such a cool call.
It's my best friend right now.
Yeah. Me too. For those
that tool is my best friend right now. And it's helping me. I get dynamically affect my environment. Because I'm going ahead killing everybody to get out of the way so I have a great time. Because I'm all about fun. And anybody that's not about fun, change or die.
Oh my God. And I just again want to remind everyone, when Becky came on the call, she was convinced that she doesn't know how to dynamically affect her environment in any way.
It's the words you used. They jumbled in my head. So I actually didn't really quite read them. And I'm like, environment. I was thinking of like the earth. And I'm like, what is she going to talk about? The environment.
So your environment, when I say environment, which is a great point, Becky. When I say environment, I mean everything around you. I mean your current environment. I'm talking like around you. What I would love to invite other people to is that Becky may not be the only person that can use this to her advantage.
Well, yeah. And how much do you just like read things and you're like, oh, that's not for me? Those are the ones that you
say the 99.9% of things you've decided are not for you are actually the element that if you would choose it or consider it or minimally ask a fucking question about it, might actually be something that you're great at, which is another, oh my God, this is why I love X-Men classes, because it is all about getting rid of the nonsense that you're not great at anything, because that's what a lot of X-Men think, and actually looking at like all the things you're not willing to look at that are your greatness. And being able to affect your environment, whatever you're choosing, is something that X-Men can be very, very effective at. And oftentimes we allow the environments to affect us because no one's ever told you, like, look, if you have more awareness in the room, who's more powerful in that scenario? You or the other people? You. But oftentimes we will choose to be at the effect of it and be like oh my God, I'm aware of all this stuff. What do I do with it all? It's like, no, You don't do anything with it. You actually ask, how can I use this to my advantage?
That. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was just going to say, so then what? Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, and it's like you don't acknowledge, you blink. You have to, like you in a lot of your classes, you talked about this before. Like you don't acknowledge every second that you're breathing. And the more and more that I explore these tools and acknowledge and play with you, Cara, and like these X-Men, it's like, oh. And I know, like, I'm going to say this and just so you can yell at me in front of everybody, because I'm always like, doesn't everybody do that? I'm like, doesn't everybody?
That's the other trick. Like, I think a lot of times people like X-Men don't show up in the way that they could show up because they assume everyone else has got the same like element of energy and energetic awareness that they do. Not fucking true, people. Like, in any regard, not true. You are unique unto yourself. When you are affecting an environment, it will be unique to you. No one else could walk into that room and facilitate in the way that you could. Now, do you have to do you have to facilitate stuff? No. But like Gary Douglas has always said, like, if it's going to create more ease for your life, fucking use the tools. Like, people are often like, well, is it okay if I go into a room and affect everyone? Look, if I have to go to a family function and I'm aware there may be people there that aren't the easiest people for me to be around, will I use the tools to my advantage to make that more easy for me? Yes.
Okay, well, how do you do that?
You ask questions.
So what questions do you ask?
You use the awareness that you have of people and like what they're going to choose and how they're going to be in an environment and like what their projections, expectations, rejections, separations, and judgments of you are, and you use them to your advantage. You manipulate, you avoid, you get bigger. Like, there's a million different ways you could do this. It begins with acknowledging that you can. And it begins with acknowledging that you are not the effect of your environment unless you choose that. If you are an X-Men, and those of you listening probably are.
Yeah, if you're like, that's not me.
Then this is a choice that you have available to you. Now, does everyone have this choice? No, they don't. So you wouldn't choose to take a class that would give you more tools at your disposal to use everything that you are capable of to your advantage. For what fucking reason? You don't even have to choose a class with me. Like Diva Diaz does them, Solwyn Jones does them, Jenny B does them. Like, these classes, there are other, Heather Nichols does them. There are other facilitators that do these classes. And if you have not chosen an X-Men class yet, for what reason have you not chosen it? That's all I'm saying. Would you love to dominate every single room you're in?
Yes.
And I'm talking physically and metaphorically. For those of you who,
world domination.
Yeah. Have been telling yourself the story that you're at the effect of everything that comes into your environment. No, you're not.
Well, so now everyone watching this video that actually plays with me in different ways, now they know my secret. So now what?
Get better at it, bitch.
Nothing's happening here. Nothing's happening here.
Turn it the fuck
up. I'm so sweet and dumb and blonde.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing happening here.
That's one of your favorite. It's okay. It's like when you are like, and also too, here's another thing I will just say. What if willing to be the dominant energy or being the person affecting the environment is actually going to create greater for the people in that room?
Woo-wee. And for the planet and for the universe.
For the future period.
For the future.
I said this on, I think, one of these calls, but like, my target, and one of the things that if X-Men were willing to know who they were and to show up here, the planet would change. Period.
Well, then you become like the broadcaster. Like, I think that's the word that just is popping. Whereas like, that thing where like 99% of like your thoughts, feeling, emotions are never yours.
Yeah.
But like when you actually are willing to step into this, you're actually broadcasting though, like at least a different fun, play, ease, joy, glory,
Well,
power,
like,
potency.
yeah. And so here's an example. I used to do doula work. So like that's helping women in labor. And one of the things, and this is before Access, this is before I knew what I was doing, because that's also the point. It's like these are energetic talents, abilities, and capacities that we all have. Most of the time we use them for emergencies. We use them in very specific ways. We've decided that we can use them. You can use them a lot more than you realize you can use them. But for me, what I would do, like, and I even had clients tell me I was like the tranquilizer of birth, in the sense that when I showed up to a birth, any like insanity, any like craziness going on, any like really, I just was like, nope.
Yep.
Because that doesn't facilitate ease in a birth when everyone's like hysterical.
Yeah.
So without even knowing I was doing it, when I would show up to a birth, like everybody, I would just be like, and we're all calming down. Because I knew that was going to create greater for everyone involved. And it was whoever was in that space. Like, it's like, if you come into my environment, we're all doing this now. When I turn that on, good luck trying to be hysterical. Yeah. Good luck trying to be like.
And the cool thing is that you actually do that in, I'm lucky enough to play with you in like different areas too within Access. And you actually are that. And it creates, even for me, like clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, where it's like, when you have like all of like the confusion starts, like, they're like, people like to dive into confusion for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, and there are people that really love that energy. They like it. They like the adrenaline rush of it. They like the whole like
confusion
thing.
Yeah,
like
I don't know. Like, and Kara's like, no, this is the boop, 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 boop. Here's how it goes. And actually, it's so simple. So like, even for me, I've learned to like ask for more of that as well, of just that well, it even kind of like just change your die. Like here, let's go step 1, 2, 3, or that's not even quite it, but there's just like, let me give you clarity.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't have like, if you're not being completely like tsunamied with all of that, all those energies, and you're willing to be like, no.
It's really the dominant entity.
To dominate.
Yeah, you're just willing to be the dominant entity of, I recently was just really diving into in the elements of intimacy, trust. Mm-hmm. And then you spoke on the last call of the Killing Contribution to trust, the energy of it. And I was like, I was always like, how do I trust me? Like, trust me, trust the universe. Like, I'm asking for this. Well, I'm paraphrasing. Those aren't exact words that you said, but really trusting you is trust that you'll always ask a question and you'll always choose. Mm-hmm. That's having your back.
Yeah.
That's trusting.
Like, sometimes it doesn't create what you think it's going to create.
Yeah, but it's like
again.
It was like brilliant. Here I was trying to like figure it all out, and I was like, oh, I do trust me. I do trust the universe. I do like I'm gonna like, even in those situations that when you're coming, like, because it's usually the first thing for me too. I'm like, hey, what's required here?
Yeah.
Like what's required to change this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it, and I love you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you for this amazing conversation.
I knew nothing about.
Yeah, I know. I asked the wrong X-Men to come and play with me on this one for sure. Missed the mark.
I know nothing about the environment.
See, I'm willing to
you're going to talk about like talking to plants. I was like,
you could talk to plants. I mean, we all can talk to plants.
Sure.
Like Monica Gillum really knows how to talk to plants.
I was like, she should bring Monica on for this one.
Oh goodness. Well, I'm really grateful everybody joined us. I hope this
has been so fun
to your life, and you got one tidbit that maybe allowed you to have a little bit more of you, or a willingness to have a little bit more of you. Like, What if being willing to dynamically affect your environment, be the dominant energy, isn't about it being because you're right and they're wrong? What if it's about you're willing to fucking choose it and you're willing to see what it creates and then you're willing to fucking choose it again? How does it get better than that?
How does it? I'll have that.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so see you tomorrow. Same time, different X-Men, different topic. Again, I'm not going to tell you. So hopefully you're all loving this intrigue.
I know. I already know who it is.
Becky. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'll see you tomorrow.